Hello, everybody. Dr. Willis here. I hope you all are having a great day. I appreciate all of your hard work in the course room. And I wanted to take just a moment and talk through a couple of ideas about, you're always having to do discussions and assignments, and we're always asking you to find sources. And, sometimes we assume this information. We assume that you know this information, and then come to find out maybe you don't know it, or maybe you don't know all of it. And so if I'm going to give you some information that some of you may already know. So if you know it, then you can just click out of the video. That's totally fine. But if not, I want to talk you through how to use the resources in the UWA library on how to find articles for your district, for your discussions, and for your assignments. You don't. It's really best not to go out onto just the internet in general and be finding like blog posts. I've seen some blog posts cited already this term. If you're on like a governmental website or more of like an official website, and you're citing statistics from that website, I think those are appropriate uses of those types of sources. But if you're just on like, like a mental health blog, those are not great academic sources, and I'd like for you to sort of steer away from them. So I want to take a very short moment here and share with you my screen, and I hope that you can now see the screen. And so what you're seeing is the UWA library, and you get to that by going to uwa.edu/library. And it takes you right here. And if you aren't signed in, already, they may ask you to sign in. I don't really know. And so you have several options here on the side. If you can see my cursor, you can search databases by subject, and you might be interested in these psychology databases of journals. Psych articles is really good. Proquest is really good. The mental measurements library is great, but it might not be things that you use right now currently, unless you're in the, like when you get to your assessment class, you're going to want to go to the mental measurements yearbook database. Back when I was in my master's program, when the dinosaurs roamed the earth, the mental measurements yearbook was this huge, massive book, and you had to like donate blood to the librarian, and she gave you like the super secret password into like the other area of the library that they kept under lock and key, and you had to go through this anyway. So the beautiful part of technology is that now it's all online. And so there it is. If you're curious now about the mental measurements yearbook, you should definitely go there and look at it. So you could literally just click on what's going to ask for all of this. And honestly, so let me get back to this for a second. All right, so that took a second. Okay, so let me just share my screen again now. So when you click on that Proquest database, hopefully for you, it'll just pop right in. It'll be great. You go to this database, and from here, you can search this database as if you were searching, like, doing like a Google search or whatever. So let's just say that we're searching for you've got a discussion and you want to talk about adolescent depression. So you type that into the search box here, and you just, let's just say you're impatient and you don't want to do all the other things. You just click on search, and it'll start to then search inside of the database for all these articles, and you will see that we achieved 115,000 articles. Now, obviously, there are two kinds of things that you can't use with a search. When you have too many articles, and then when you have like zero, right? So this is too many. So I want to tell you how to modify your search a little bit. You can go into the database and you can really do a cool job of modifying these boxes. You can even add boxes if you want. And so maybe we'll come in here and say, we want, instead of anywhere, we want to search, and you can search for all these different things here, right? Very cool. And so let's say we want to search for any article. These are all, by the way, the database is filled with only like scholarly peer-reviewed articles, okay? And some ebooks, things like that. So we want to search for adolescent depression, but now we want to narrow it. We only want articles that mention adolescent depression in the title. Now I haven't pre-planned this, by the way, so let's just sort of see what pops up. All right, I've clicked on search, and okay, we have 1,900. So you see, we went from 115,000 to a much more manageable, number, 1967. It's still too much though. It's still too many. So let's see if we can modify it one more time. We want to limit it. We might modify it a couple of times here. We want to limit it to only articles that are peer reviewed. That means the real scholarly stuff, and that are full text, right? Because there's no sense in searching for an article that you're not going to be able to read. So let's just stop there and search and see what that does for us here. Fingers crossed, right? All right, 861 articles. Probably still too many, but you could really go through here and find, now you got articles, right? Now, and you could go through and you can get the full PDF of these. You can even download those, if you're doing like a paper, and let's say that you need 6 sources, you might go through here and find 30 or 40 articles and download them, and then later offline you could choose through those articles that you wanted. So let's do this though. Let's modify that search one more time, and let's search for publication date. Let's search, since we've got a bunch of articles here, and again, I have not pre-planned this, let's limit the search to the last 3 years. What if it comes back at 0? I don't know what I'm going to do. There we go, 130 articles. Now listen, if you're doing a big research project for Dr. Worthington or Dr. Moon or any of our amazing, Dr. OMB, any of our amazing faculty, and you got this big, huge project to do, now you can sit through these 130 articles. These are all very recent, and you can begin to go through these. Now, I'll give you a couple of really quick tips as I finish up here. If you cannot understand the title, if the title is too difficult for you to understand, and especially if you've got several articles to choose from, probably just go ahead and move on to the next article, right? But let's say that you see an article and the title looks good, right? You sort of got it. Okay, all right, I can work with this. Then you can go in and read the abstract, right? So the clinical relevance of divergence in adolescent parents' reports of adolescent depression and anxiety. Okay, you think, okay, I don't totally understand what that means about divergence, but sure, maybe that could work. Well, then you can pull up the abstract, right? And what you want to do when you pull up the abstract, now we want to read, and I'm not going to read this to you, but if you want to read that, and then if the abstract makes 0 sense to you, okay, then I would go to the next article. Just skip it, right? There's 2 kinds of scholarly articles that are written. There are articles that are written by authors who want to show you how smart they are, okay? Those are not helpful. Then there are articles that are written by scholarly people who are genuinely interested in helping you understand the topic. Those are the articles you want, okay? So look at the title, look at the abstract, and then if you can really understand the abstract, maybe that's definitely one of the ones you want to choose. So now you can up your game. I want you to up your game because we're graduate school, right? I want you to up your game with your sourcing and really begin to use this as a method to find articles. Now, listen, you don't have to use ProQuest. You can use any of those databases that you want. There's tons of stuff out there inside of the library, but you're paying a price to go to school. You're paying for all this, and this is all free. And many of these articles are things that are not available online. This is like the primo. This is the good stuff. So focus your search there, and it really will help you take your sourcing game to the next level. And so just as a reminder, as we close here, I'd love to see 2 sources in every discussion post that you post. Okay, so use a couple of sources and that'll be great. Thanks everybody. I hope you have an amazing day. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.